Right people, how to draw a tattoo design from start to finish. We're going to be doing a really cool old school kind of face, you know, maybe a bit of a kind of sort of gypsy fortune teller maybe sort of style one. I don't really know, I'm going to sort of make it up as we go along and just see what kind of comes out. So this one, if I was to draw on this one, I'd probably draw this one up for say like the forearm or something, so it kind of fit in this kind of space, or you know, on the leg or the back of the calf. You know, one of those kind of ones, because most tattoos you'll find will generally be a bit longer than they will wider. The only time they usually wider, and that's if you're doing like a chest piece or, you know, something on the upper back or something like that. So yeah, I'm going to mark this all out. So I've got the layers on here. I'm going to create a couple of layers. I'm going to go from the bottom. Just going to do this for my sketching work. So I'm going to click on here on Procreate, and it's on the iPad Pro. I'm going to use technical pencil, and I'm going to use a dark red, just like this, just for sketching. So I'm going to sketch on what we think. So I'm going to plot this out roughly. So I'm going to start off with, as you've probably seen me do quite a few times, I'm going to get a circle in here like this. I'm going to create this curve coming off the bottom. Don't worry about being neat at this stage. We're just basically kind of trying to work out positioning. So I'm thinking for the face, so it's going to be like the main kind of head. You know, draw a light rough line, just kind of up the middle bit, you know, coming halfway through. So you've got this cool kind of cross coming through. It just kind of positions everything. So I've got the eyes and stuff. Maybe a line about halfway through that, and just a little bit below that as well. So that'd be kind of sort of nose and the mouth. I'm thinking I'm going to have this face, you know, sort of facing front, but the neck's going to be a little bit of an angle. So I'm going to bring this line, come to the side bit just like this. I'm going to come off a little bit just here maybe. Just grab a bit of shoulder. And this shoulder can kind of go off this way. Now she's going to be the main feature, but I want something to kind of fill in this bottom space. You know, I don't want it to just be this, I want it to kind of feel like a whole kind of forearm piece, so something that's going to take up the whole thing. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to maybe go, I'm going to add like maybe a dagger here, I think. Actually no, I'm going to go something really cool. I'm going to go dagger. And I'm going to turn this dagger into a moth or a butterfly. So this is going to branch out like this. So the basic dagger is going to be the body. Yeah, I like that idea. I'm going to curve off, create a wing here. I'm going to create a wing here. Don't worry about the details. We're going to go through the details as we do them. Like I said, this is just all about getting everything roughly where we want it. You know, once we kind of got everything sort of plotted out and we kind of look at it and go, yeah, we like that, then we can start putting detail in. No, but for now, we're just trying to see what works and what doesn't. So I think that works really well. I really like the idea of that. So having a cool kind of dagger moth there. I've never done a dagger moth actually. I really like that idea. I might do some more of those. And we've got this face up here, and I'm thinking like a fortune teller one. So we're going to have like a the sort of fortune teller headdress sort of thing. So I'm going to bring this kind of rectangle come across this way. I'm going to go a bit outside the circle because obviously it's going to fit the hair underneath it. One going this way, curving off. A little curve just here. Curve at the top and a curve in there. I'm going to have like a centerpiece in this bit, so we can do a little circle there, I think. Yeah, I'm liking the way this is looking. I think in the background I'm going to have like a sun drop. You probably see this quite often in my work. So we're going to get a little bit of a curve on the side, so be like a bit of a sunburst just kind of behind her, which should look really cool. I'm really liking this kind of build up. This is working really nice for me. I'm thinking maybe a feather in the hair and maybe a couple of little ones just off the side maybe. Yeah, I like that. So now we've got that sort of roughly in there. We're going to go on here. We're going to click on the layer and you've got the opacity. We're going to turn the opacity down and such. And we're basically going to sketch over it again and refine it until we get to the way. I'm going to sort of draw it the way I would normally draw my designs. So you see exactly how I kind of sort of approach these sort of things. So now I've got this done. I'm going to go up here. Now I want the face facing dead on perfect, so I can use the Symmetry Tool on here. It's a really handy tool, you know, and it's go basically I'm going up onto the top here. So click on this, you click on canvas, you see you've got add, canvas, share, you go on there, turn on drawing guide, click edit drawing guide, and down the bottom you see you've got the options here. So we're going to go symmetry. You've probably seen me do this before. Just move it so you make sure it's kind of center where you want everything. So that's going to go, yeah, we'll go quite there. And I probably have to shift that butterfly, it's not quite right where I want it. And basically what this is going to do is going to make everything draw on both sides. If it doesn't, you may have unselected layer. So if you click on the layer, just make sure it's got the word assisted next to it. And the way to turn it on, you click on this, and you'll see it's got drawing assist. You just basically click on that, and boom, it turn on the assist. it's just a really handy feature because it sort of brings everything in and makes it, you know, exactly parallel. So we're going to start off here. I'm going to start maybe with a nose. So on that halfway line we've done between that bit. So let me just quickly turn on that so I don't get notifications all the way through this. So we're going to create this curve into this other curve. Now if you struggle doing this, just basically think you've got a circle in the middle and two circles next to it, just a bit smaller. So one big circle, two small circles. And you basically just draw down the bottom part and it creates a really perfect little bottom of the nose. It's a real simple way of doing it, but it's just really effective. Now coming up from that part there, from that circle we've done for the main part of the nostril, we're going to curve this outwards. And this is going to curve up and kind of like go towards where the eyebrows are. So okay, we don't go too extreme with the curve. I'm going to get that there. Bring these up. So I think I want the eyes kind of roughly around here, I think. I'm liking this kind of line for it. So if you imagine, you know, you often say if you divide the face shape into 6, or into 5 rather, you kind of get it. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, 5 equal sections, and basically the eye is going to go in this section here. You know, if you sort of struggle kind of getting the way you want, it's always a good way to do it. You know, and pretty much be like spot on each time. So I'm going to create a curve, coming across like this. I'm going to create another curve just above it, like that, create an upper eyelid. And come in this corner, I'm going to curve this one across. You can join it up. I think I'm going to have this one kind of flicking off a little bit. I quite like how that looks actually. I'm liking that. I'm going to create 2 circles on the inside part. Make sure it's kind of a bit bigger than the eye, so basically the circle would, you know, come over that kind of line. Another circle in the middle just for the pupil. Zoom out. Make sure you're not got boss-eyed. Just correct that little touch. And put some little flicks just underneath the eye for a bit of eyelash. A few little ones just above it as well. Now the eyebrow, I'm going to bring this curved line across like this, and it's come down. It's going to come down to this line we drew up from this nose, and then we're going to go up a little bit. I'm going to curve those across like so, just getting smaller as we get to the outside. I'm liking that. Might need to make them bigger or make that nose bigger, I think. We'll see. We'll get around to it. So we've got that in there, so now I'm going to go for the mouth. The mouth, you sort of bring down a line from where that pupil bit is. It's roughly where I want the mouth to start, I think. I'm going to create 2 side lines just here. I'm going to create this loop coming down. And I want this mouth, I think I'm going to have it a little bit open, so I'm going to create this little loop coming up just here. And I'm going to curve up and down to make the upper lip. Create a little loop just here, so there's a little gap, I think. I'm going to create another loop just around the bottom bit. Just there. Yeah, like that. And now we've got a chin. This is where a lot of people tend to struggle. You know, it's understanding sometimes you can have it thin, sometimes you have it thick. It doesn't necessarily have to be one or the other, you know, one or the other. I see a lot of people kind of worry and feel like their face looks too fat or too thin. But especially old school, it doesn't make much difference. You know, you can do it either way. So I'm going to have it kind of going like that, I think. Maybe a little bit lower. I'm going to click up here. You got on the tools, you've got Liquify. It's a really handy tool if you want to make just slight adjustments. You can do it. It kind of sort of drags your lines a little bit. So I'm just going to drag a few here and just see how I sort of think it looks with a bit of a wider jaw. Yeah, I quite like that. Let me slightly adjust those eyes a bit. A little bit longer. Yeah. Sometimes little slight adjustments can just improve it. I don't like to go too crazy with it though, you know, I kind of feel it's a bit cheating if you go too much. Just going to bring in this line here. Now when we get to the side part of this hat, I'm going to bring this out. I'm going to leave little gaps. I'm going to do a bit of hair. There's going to be some hair in these kind of gaps. You know, I already know that because I like to bring the hair quite close to the face. So come a little bit outside from the face. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a loop, flick inwards, create another loop, flick inwards, and then the third one's going to go across like so. Do the same here for this one. I'm going to create this one a bit wider up low, so that's going to go a bit higher to there. A bit there. I mean, that hasn't necessarily got to be symmetric, you know, but for this one I think I probably will make it symmetric. So that's looking about right. So now I'm going to go upwards for another bit, and I'm just going to put some hair because I don't want the hair to be dead even. You know, you can do if you want, but I prefer the hair not to be dead symmetric, otherwise it just feels like it's too much symmetry. So I'm going to bring this curve coming here. I like to go very close to the eyebrows. So I'm going to go very close there. And then this one I'm going to curve off. It's going to bend up, dip down, bit of a wave across like that. Yeah, I like that. It's got a nice old school vibe. Then here I'm going to curve this out. I'm going to create one dip, two dip, come into that cheek, roughly about the same kind of height as the mouth, I'd say. I'm going to curve outwards. I'm going to kind of mimic that sort of shape, so it's going to curve a bit like that for that one. A bit similar here. You know, I like to make it similar, just not the same. You know, just kind of, you know, that little bit of asymmetry sometimes works really nice. But yeah, you want to get quite close in the face, you know. I think it just always looks nice when it comes quite close in the face. So bring these lines down like this. This line out there. This neckline to the shoulder. You can just come there, I think. It's a little bit of a wide neck, so I might shrink that down a bit. I don't want it to have a fat neck. This is why sketching is really important. You can easily make these adjustments. You know, I normally sort of draw a lot slower than this, so I'll normally sort of plan these out quite a bit more, but obviously you don't have to be sort of drawing for hours on end with this. You know, it's just easy to kind of give you guys a quick sort of summary of everything I do, the way I do it. So quite like that for the face. You know, we'll come back and put the extra details and stuff in there. But we're going to go down to this dagger now. So I'm going to create this curved line, come out from the bottom, curving up to about here. And then we're going to triangle this inwards. Create another two lines coming down like here. And this bottom part here, we're going to create this curved line coming up. And this little line just up the centre to join up to that. And do another little box shape just in there. I want this line to curve off. I'm going to have this line curving off so it kind of follows this bottom part of this wing. Because I basically want that to kind of connect off that I'm looking at, I'm thinking. So we're going to curve off to a bit of a ball shape at the end. Go around just like this. I mean, it's a bit longer than I would normally go, but I think for the butterfly it's going to work. I might shrink it down, but we'll see. And because there's a butterfly, or a moth, you know, I'm going to create a bit more of a circular kind of hilt here, which will kind of be the body bit. I'm thinking another little one just here, which will kind of represent its head. And maybe a little jewel, but just off the top, just kind of sort of show that. And from this one, I'm going to have its antennas kind of coming off, I think. Oh, yeah, I like that. Now coming off from this one, this bigger one we done, I'm going to bring this out, like so. And turn this around, I'm going to follow the shape. I'm going to create a few little dips here, I think. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so you've got 1, 2, 3 dips. Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm going to come up from here, and I create this curve. I'm going to curve down into that circle shape we done. Curve down, I'm going to create this little loop bit down here, so and create that curve around like that. Yeah, I'm liking that shape. That shape's working for me. So I'm going to put a few more details in here now. So a bit of body inside the body pattern. So I'm going to create a curve, another curve, curve, and another curve just there. I'm going to create a mimic line. So I'm basically going to copy the outside line, just coming a bit more steeper on each bit, just here. I'm going to create a curve kind of joining up here. And then I'm going to bring in some lines, just coming off each one of those points, going backwards, like so. You basically want them to slowly tilt as you go further down. You don't want them to follow the exact same shape as that, otherwise it'll look too straight. I'm going to create a curve on this part. I'm going to put a circle in there, I think. A bit similar to the top bit, I'm going to create these dip bits, just like this. These lines can kind of go off there. You know, sometimes you don't have to go too crazy. Sometimes simple details can do the trick. You know, sometimes less is more. Now inside the dagger here, what I'm going to do, I'm looking at, because I want a bit more detail on this hilt. So I'm going to create these curves like this. So 2 curves. And then just extend some lines on the outside, just mimicking those shapes out there. And you get this really cool little pattern on the inside bit, which I like. Just mimicking that top part there as well. So now I'm going to get this Sunburst in here, so I'm going to create this curve. And I'm going to create these lines coming off here, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. You might just get a little hint of a 5th one just there. Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm going to go back up to layer now that hasn't got the symmetry on. I'm going to sort of work out what we're going to do on this bit. So I'm drawing a circle. If you draw a circle and hold it, it will just automatically draw like a nice circle. And I'm thinking I'm going to turn this circle into like a crescent moon. So I'm going to draw this smaller circle on the inside bit just here. Just like that, just roughly. I will correct it and make it dead perfect. I'm just sketching it in. And I might do another circle on the inside just here. And do a little old school kind of star bit on the inside. Possibly. We'll see, I might change my mind with that, but I don't mind it for now. So I'm going to get this feather in, so I'm going to basically draw these 2 straight lines coming up like this. I'm going to create this loop, coming up and around. Like this. And then off the sides, I'm going to go flick, 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 all the way down. Flick, 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 all the way down. If you can make it the same amount of flicks, that's ideal. If you don't panic too much. I'm going to look like some flick lines just inside, kind of pointing to each one of those bits, just roughly for the minute. So I said, this is the beauty of sketching. Like, everything hasn't got to be perfect because you're just kind of putting stuff in. You know, everything you do at this stage, you can still change if you want. You know, that's why it's very important to kind of get used to like sketching, I think. I'm going to put some little pattern marks in here, so I'm going to create this curve here, I think. Another curve just there. A little dot pattern inside. I might just carry that through here actually. Erase that wall bit just there. Quite like that. Do the same on this side. So create a little curve there, and inside this little space, just do dots, but even space apart. All the way around it. Yeah, I quite like that. And you can do all sorts of patterns in here. I mean, it's a bit of a sort of, you know, fortune teller one, so you can kind of go crazy if you want. I'm going to create a line just there, a line there. I might do sort of triangular pattern in this one. Same on this bit. Actually, I'll go from the same thing. Start from that edge just there. But it's all starting to look really nice to me. I'm liking how this is going. So now we've got to this stage, I think, you know, I might start to refine it a little bit. I might go in there and I might put in some black lines now. You know, this stage where I kind of refine it now. So I'm basically going to, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to merge all these layers together. There's nothing on that one, is there? I'm going to go merge, merge, merge. So all our sketch layers are now one layer. I can turn that transparency down so it's nice and faint in the background, which makes it easy for me now to like draw over the top. You know, it just makes it easier. I mean, you don't have to, but you'll just find if you do that, you'll just be able to see everything a lot more clearly. So I'm going to go on here, I'm going to calligraphy, monoline. I really like this because it gives like a nice, even, dead, perfect line. You know, I will switch to probably the technical pen at some point, because the technical pen you get a flick, but monoline you can see, you just get a dead, even, nice weight. You know, which is just ideal for doing like tattoo designs and stuff. So I'm probably going to start off with, I'll start off at the bottom and work my way up. So I'm going to turn on Draw and Assist. That way I can just do both sides of them off at the same time. You know, don't worry about going the same speed as me. You know, I'm very confident with my line work. You know, so I tend to do my lines fairly quick. You know, take your time. You don't have to go the same speed as me. You know, it's not a race. It's just about getting... Well, it's just about having fun, really. Just drawing what we're doing. Let's get these all in there. Oop, went back a space. Getting used to flipping a design around is really handy, because you'll see what I do here. I find this motion is very, very easy for me. I can do this really nice motion like this. You know, however, I don't find it as comfortable doing this. I can do it, but it's just not as comfortable for my hand. You know, you might find you struggle to do it one way than the other. If you struggle to do it one way, then just flip the page around and do it the other way. You know, it's really that simple. You know, remember, I'm a lefty, so if you're doing this, you might be a bit in reverse, you know, if you're right-handed. Now, I'd like to know how many of you guys are actually left-handed, so that's quite rare. If you're a lefty, give me a shout in the comments, let me know. I know it sounds silly, but I would like to know how many of you guys left-handed. Not there's anything wrong with right-handed, don't get me wrong. Don't start jumping and panicking. I've got nothing against wrong. There's nothing wrong with right-handed people. It's just left-handed is a little bit more rare. So just keep these going up nice and even. And make sure you start the tool there. If you sort of draw in a circle and hold it, it just sort of does it for you. And that makes it really nice and quick and easy. You know, I mean, if you struggle doing it, you know, sort of it's good help, you know, but if you do struggle with doing sort of, you know, circles and lines, then I recommend practicing those. You know, sometimes just get a bit of paper and just drawing like loads of circles, you know, just draw like 100 circles in a bit of paper. You know, do it a few times and you'll find that by the end of it, your line work in your circles and lines will be a million times better, and you can do it in no time. It's such a simple little trick that works wonders. Right. Put these lines up in here. So I'm basically just drawing all the lines I know that are parallel. You know, the ones ain't parallel, do any other layer. And the ones that I want to have a bit of a flick edge to, I'll be doing separately as well. And then just joining up later on. You'll see what I mean. Like basically, when we do like eyes and stuff, you know, in old school tattoos, you know, it's very common to have like a big bold outline like this for the eye where it comes to a dead end. But I'm quite a fan of getting a little flick to it. You know, it's, you know, sometimes I move for doing it that way. You know, like see it here, it comes like a nice bold edge. Sometimes it's nice when it flicks to nothing. You can't do that with the monoline, but you can do that with a technical pen. The technical pen is very, very handy for that. So I'm just going to go whip that one in, draw a hole to get a nice straight line. Now, if you want to make sure these are perfectly sort of in line with the circle, you can do. I'm just sketching them in there roughly, so they're probably not going to be 100% perfect. But I'm liking that, so I'm just going to go on here and I'm going to turn off drawing assist. I'm going to click turn off drawing assist, so now it's not going to draw on both sides at the same time. So I'm going to put in this hair bit. And then remember, like I said before, you don't have to go the same speed as me. I know I do these quite quick. I need to rub a little bit out there, I think. There we go. Give me enough room for that curve. There we go. Just getting that in there. Again, just going to rub it here. Sometimes when you do symmetry, you don't realise on the other side of the drawing you kind of go over bits which are not meant to be symmetric. In which case, just rub it out. It's that simple. It's nothing to stress or worry over. Just don't do it when tattooing. You know, if you're tattooing, you don't want to make those mistakes. You know, when it comes to tattooing, take your time. There's no ifs or buts about that. You know, if it takes you an extra couple of hours to do a drawing while doing a tattoo, then unfortunately it's just going to do that. You know, you can't be making mistakes on the body. That sort of thing will get you fired. Right, draw around here. Just follow that line, follow that line, follow that line. Boom. Follow that line, follow that line. Hold. Boom. And that'll be a perfect circle. If you hold it, tap your finger, then it goes perfect circle. Old school starring now. Right, let's get the feather in here, then I go down to the eyes. I'm really liking how this one's coming along. Remember, if there's anything specific you struggle with drawing, let me know. You know, I really want to kind of help you guys now, and I want to do a few more videos that are more based on things people struggle with rather than actual designs. So, say like if there's a certain sort of shading technique you tend to really struggle with, or you know, if you sort of struggle, I know, making designs, placing things. You know, like especially composition. I know a lot of people when they sort of do tattoos, they tend to struggle whereabouts to place it on the body or the right size. You know, I have some very good guidelines I could do for that. So if you guys want to see that, let me know. You know, some like diagrams of the body I've made up, so it sort of tells you where's the good place to tattoo, where's not. I'm going to turn this line width down now a touch, because I want to do some thinner lines. You don't have to do this, you know, old school a lot of time it is predominantly just like one size needle. But I like to break the rules a little bit and just do a few little ones. Nothing crazy, just every once in a while just throwing a little line somewhere. It just makes it nice. Before I do this, because I'm doing a butterfly, I'm going to blow an egg, turn on draw and assist, so I just do both sides at the same time. It's a very nice little time saver, it just speeds things up a little bit. I might go over this bottom bit in a thicker line, but I'll see when I zoom out. Haven't decided yet. It's looking good. Look at me, picking up my own work. Sad. Just ignore me, people. I'm just being silly. I'm going to do a thinner line just on the inside part here. Nope. I'm going to get this nice and even compared to the outside part. That's better. Yeah, not perfect, but I do. Alright, now again, I'm going to go on there. I'm going to turn off draw and assist. And I'm going to draw the inner lines of the hair now. So basically I'm going to mimic the shape of the outline. Like this. And try to, by the end of doing it, match up with the outer lines. So see, the more I do it, the more I'm trying to now sort of mimic the outer line. See, like that. So you kind of get this cool kind of mix. You don't necessarily have to do that. You can just mimic one side, which does look really cool as well. But no, I quite like making that transition sometimes. Just trying to get it to match up the other side. So you can see, you're basically just mimicking the line. This one's going to be a bit tough one to mimic because it's a bit more straight. A bit too close on that bit. Yeah, not bad, I quite like that. That'll do. So now I'm going to go click on here. I'm going to get inking. Technical pen. Because technical pen has that little flick, which I told you I quite like, especially for the eyes. I probably shouldn't do this because I've done the rest of it the other way, but I set out to do it, so by God, I'm going to do it. So you see you flick and you get that nice kind of like line at the end. Now, I mean, generally if you do one bit one way, I recommend kind of sticking the whole way through, but I'm being a fusspot today and I'm doing it this way. Always remember, it's your drawing, you can do it your way, you ain't got to stick to the rules. You know, rules are there sometimes to help. You know, if you want to get a specific style, then you might not stick to it, but just because someone says it's that way, doesn't necessarily mean it is that way. Alright, if you're like me and like an idiot, you forgot to turn on the thing again, your drawing assist, what you can always do is just quickly select the area, okay, copy, paste, flip it around, and just move it where it's supposed to be. There we go. Just saves you redrawing it all over again. Not there's anything wrong with that, but yeah, just saves the effort. So I'm going to go back to the monoline now. It's got a bit thicker now. Yeah, so I'm going to put these dots in here. Like I said, roughly about even space apart. You know, don't stress too much if they're not 100% the same distance. Just want to get them roughly the same distance. The other thing also, you want to try and make sure you get one in the corners. Always looks good if you can get the corners. Let's go drawing assist. Oh, I'd rather bit that line out there. Sorry, just create that, otherwise it's going to bug me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on either side. I think that'll do it for the dots. I'm going to shrink this down again, just do a few more patterny bits. Turn off drawing assist for this one because these parts ain't symmetric. So this little line inside the triangle, we've done that. Same on this side, just a little line inside that triangle, we've done there. No, I like that. It's looking good to me. And here I might go just a bit of an old school pattern off the side. You know, once you get to this stage, then you start thinking about patterns, you know, little bits you want to kind of add. You know, you don't want to think about old school patterns, you know, some of the old school patterns are very typical. The dots are really good. These little loops, little lines in between them. It's a very typical way of doing it. I mean, you can put these pretty much anywhere in an old school tattoo and it just looks right. You know, you can't really go wrong with it. I think that'll do for that bit. So now I'm going to do this. I'm going to click up here, just merge this down so it's all one layer. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to set this to reference. So I'm going to click that button there that says reference. Go underneath now. I'm going to create 2 layers. I'm going to do the top one first, which is going to be shading. For shading, I'm going to use the spray paint tool, medium nozzle. You can use your own preference one, whichever one you like. I just like using this one. And I'm going to flick off that sketch work. We don't need that no more. So to start with, I might just automatically select. So I'm going to click on the selection tool up here. I'm going to click automatic, click and drag, and just make sure the selection threshold is in the high 90s. If it's not, you're going to get this annoying white line and it's going to irritate you. I get messages about this daily. It bugs people, it bugs me. So for the love of God, just do it and just save us all the stress. Just click on it. So I'm going to start off with just by selecting areas that I know I want jet black. Well, either jet black or a variation of black. So I want nose. I will do the hair afterwards. Where else might look good? Let's go for these bits just there. You want quite a bit of black in your designs. I mean, you're going to have black shading, but it's always worth having black in there. I'm going to have to erase that bit there. Where did it come from? Right, anyway, click on this. Get it about right. Just going to blacken those ones up there. Blacken those eyebrows. Actually, I might not necessarily black this out. I'm going to click drawing assist, get both sides. Let's just have a look. So I might do a little fade. Sometimes it looks nice. I'm going to black the bottom bit out and I'm going to do that bit. I like that. Black those. Black those. I might black the bottom of the blade or a bit of black fade. No, we'll black it out. I like that black. Right, the other bits I'm going to do now, which are bits I know want like 100% of black. Well, with a fade, I mean just as in I want these bits black. So I'm going to go with the hair. I'm going to shrink this down a touch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cross it, and every time I've got a little loop in it, I'm going to put a little line just in between, like so. And a bit bigger over the top, just going to go a little bit over it, just kind of grey those bits. But you want a sort of a little fade just in between each little bit. It just kind of gives a bit of movement in the hair. So again, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go here, a bit there, just a bit over the top. Then I'm going to get in this little part here. Get my selection back up. That's the rest of the hair selected. So again, just either side there. There's only one bit of a bend in that one, so you can do that and get a bit closer. So you kind of got that grayscale in there. Like I said, each time you've got that bend, get that there, and just a little bit over the top, just to make it a bit darker. You know, I mean, you can leave it quite light in the middle, but I've just been a fan of making it kind of grey recently. It's all personal preference. Just going to go a little bit here, just underneath the neck. Turn off drawing assist now. A little bit from that corner. And a little bit from that corner, just there. Yeah, like that. Alright, now I'm just going to select the bits I want to get like a nice little fade from. So I'm going to select these parts here. I'm going to select that one to begin with. And basically I'm going to get a bit of black and I'm just going to come in outside the areas I've just selected. And just put this little fade just around those parts. So you're kind of just shading out from them, like that. This one here, a bit stronger, I'm just going to black fade up. Then I'm going to select these little ones here because I want the same thing, just a bit black at the bottom. I'm going to select here, just around, actually, I'm going to select all these bits around this. I want this emblem bit in the middle to kind of stand out, so I'm just going to select everything that's around it. Just for now. Turn this down a touch. And just put a little bit of black shadow just all the way around. And it's going to make this kind of sort of feel like it's a bit higher. See what I mean? Bit of black just in the corner bits just there. Bit of black in this corner just there. Maybe it's similar on here. Let's get a bit of black from this corner. And I'm going to select the selection tool and I'm going to click freehand this time. And I'm going to basically just draw around the areas I want to shade. So I want to get these little kind of gaps in between without touching a bit underneath. So I'm going to select those areas just there. Again, just select this area just here. And this area just here. And just very simple, just nothing too crazy, just a bit of black, just in the corner bit. Just enough so you kind of come over that line, so it makes it a bit different from the part underneath it. Just like that. I'm liking how that's looking. I'm going to black out that center bit there. So I'm going to go back to automatic selection, just select there, black that out. And now I think that's all a bit around the face, and I'm going to go into the face. Turn this down, get my selection tool. Going to select, make sure you select all your little bits just around here. It's going to be a little bit of rubbing out on this bit. I like to do some sort of layers. Shrink this down a touch. So firstly, I'd like to get a line around here. before you do that. Click on Draw and Assist. It's symmetric, we'll do both sides at the same time. Saves a lot of stress. So I'm going to get that around there. And now I'm going to get me a razor. I'm going to set it to a hard brush or something so I can get it solid. And we're going to basically erase that a little bit underneath the eyelid. So I basically just want that little shadow above the eyelid. Ah, crap. Have it to begin with. I'm going to get another little bit, just come from the side, just there. A little bit just there. I'm going to get a little bit just underneath the eye as well. Get your eraser. Just erase that part from the inside the eye. We don't want that. Just do it on the outside. So see those eyes are starting to look pretty now. Going to select inside the eyes. I want a little bit of shadow just across the top bit. Nothing crazy, literally just like that. A little shadow just on that top. And select now. A little line just coming down from there. Remember the line we drew going towards the nose? So you can imagine this kind of corner here, you're kind of sort of aiming towards that with a nice curve. Now here we're going to put a little bit of shadow just underneath the nose. I'm going to let it overlap a little bit, so it's going to go on top and above the nose and below the nose. God, I'm getting tongue-tied on that one, Jesus. A little bit just here on the cheeks, a little bit here just underneath the chin, just to raise that bit from inside the mouth. I want to get a bit on this upper lip, so a bit from either side like this. Selection here and a little bit just underneath it, so I'm going to go a little bit smaller. Nothing crazy, just a little bit like that. We'll do the trick. And lastly, I'm going to select the face. I'm just going to go very gently, just around the outside. We just want to get a very faint shadow just around the face. Now, if you're worried about this, what you can do is just turn your transparency down quite a bit. You're basically just making the face a bit round. Just like so, which I quite like. And once we've got this stage, now we can sort of think about adding colour. So the colour I'm going to put in the layer underneath that one. So black and grey's on top, colour's going to go underneath. So we're going to go, select all the colours we guaranteed know we want. So I know for 100% sure they want this background in red. So I'm going to select my red, full opacity. I know I 100% want that in red. I know I want that bit in red. I know I want that in red. These in red. I think that little bit red. These bits red. Maybe these bits. I like to use a lot of reds in my traditional work. You know, it's just a very nice colour. It's a very traditional colour. I'm not 100% sure if I'm doing this bit yet. I'm just going to test this out. I'm thinking maybe if I click Draw and Assist, I can do both sides. Thinking I might go reds with a fade out. Which I'm liking the look of. Make sure you select both sides when you're doing the symmetric, otherwise it won't do both sides. Yeah, I'm liking that. It's looking good. So now I'm going to select the colours I know I want, other specific kind of colours. So, say the ones I know that I want yellow, because I'm going to use quite a bit of yellow. I know I definitely want on those leaf bits. There, stop selecting all of it, Rick. So I know for sure I want these bits in yellow, so I'm going to select my nice kind of golden yellow. Bang all these ones in there, so I know I want that colour. I'm looking at it and I think I definitely want these bits in there now, I think. I will add a little bit of brown around the corner of some bits of this. It's not all going to be bold solid yellow. Just the kind of bits that I feel kind of need it. I think that'd do it for the yellow, I think. I don't want to go too crazy. So now I'm going to come in with the flesh tones and the face and then work out the rest. So you see on here, I've got these little flesh tones down here. This is from my Broken Puppet set. If you go on my Facebook or my Instagram, scroll down, you better find it in there and you can just copy or paste it and just click and drag and put them in there. Either that or I figure out how to make it a downloadable thing. So you've got this colour. I'm going to go fairly big with this and I'm going to start to begin with. Just kind of around the face. Pretty much kind of mimicking the black shading we've done. Just going around there. And we start with the lighter one first. I'm kind of going to go over pretty much everywhere we've done black. So everywhere that was black is going to have colour around it. Just like so. Do this in the neck at the same time. Yeah, I can't do it both on symmetric. Take off the drawing assist. I was hoping I might be able to get both bits done there. It's not quite working for me. There we go. And now you've got it done, I'm going to stick to slightly darker red now. Now it's got quite a bit of red in this colour, which I really like. And it just gives it a really kind of classic old school feel. You basically want to go over your shading now, just a little bit less, so a bit closer to the black, and just leaving that light shade around the edge. So you're basically just doing a smaller version of what you've done a second ago. Just like so. And just realised where I turned the symmetry off, I haven't done this side. There we go, so I'm liking that sort of skin texture, that's looking really nice. So it's going to come in quickly, just going to raise this red, or this bit inside the eye. But to be honest, there's not really much point in doing this because I'm going to put some red underneath in a sec, so I'm going to have to rub out the red now as well. So I'm going to select the face, select all of this. I'm going to come down and go select my red again. I'm going to do some layer above it though, it makes it a bit easier. And you'll see why. So I'm going to turn transparency down, go quite big with this. And I basically want to get that red blush on the cheek. So I'm going to kind of go here, go around the bottom part of the eye. Make sure you have drawing assist turned on to do both sides at the same time. And we're just going to gently build this up. Now, because you don't want beetroot red, we just want a hint of red in the cheeks. See, like that? Just a nice soft bit of red in there. And then again, just rub that bit on the inside part of the eye so the eye is separate. Put some red in the lips. Just like that. I'm liking where this is going. This is looking good to me. Let's select the eyes. I'm going to go orange for the eyes, I think. Yeah, I like that orange. And now I'm going to select a few bits that want green. Just turn that opacity back up. Just go bold with that. Yeah, go bold with that like that. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Not decided if I'm going to put green in this, but yeah, no, I'm just going to test it. Yeah, I'm going to go like that, just a faint bit, so you kind of got that nice kind of white highlight in the middle as well. Might put this just in this one as well. I might put a little bit of purple in this one. Just a very soft kind of lilac-y purple. Same kind of technique, so just coming from the edges, not too harsh. Go like that. And just for a bit of symmetry, I'm going to put a bit of purple in there. I'm going to go yellow inside this part just there. And inside the blade, I'm going to select a grey. I don't want this too dark. I'm going to come from one side like this, select the other side, turn off drawing assist, and draw it down like that. Yeah, like that. I'm going to put this grey also in here. You always want to make sure the colour you use, you're always using more than one location. Even if it's just 2 locations, it just makes it a bit more better, for lack of a better word. It just works better when there's more than like one variation of it. Let's quickly go on my line work, 'cause this is bugging me. This is why you should rub it out beforehand. If for any reason this happens, not much saving it. Right, I'm just going to go over the top of it again just quickly. Just pretend this never happened. It was all perfect until this happened. Dark red. There we go. So let's fix that a little bit just there. So I'm liking the look of this. Like I said, I'm going to have a few little couple of bits of caramel just to kind of finish it off. Just on the edges of the yellow, really. Everywhere else is quite nice. Don't need too much of this. Just going to select a few little bits just to begin with. So basically going to get it, and when you've got the edges, you're just going to hit it with this kind of caramel tone. Dead simple. Yeah, some part there. A little bit there. And lastly, I think just here and here. And I'm not 100% sure, I'm just going to quickly try this one bit. I might delete this low. No, I like that, that'll do for me. And there we have it, people. That's how you draw an old school gypsy girl. There's little things you can do. I'm going to put my little trademark in there because I always do this. Don't copy it though, this is my thing. You can copy everything else on there, just don't copy this one little thing. This is my little thing. I always put mix on the cheek. Click on here, canvas, turn off that drawing assist, so you kind of got rid of that line down the middle. And there we have it, people. That is how you draw a tattoo design from beginning to end. I hope you like it. You know, comment, like, subscribe. Is there anything else you guys want to see? Let me know. You know, I'm back doing these quite, regularly now, so I've got a bit of spare time with lockdown, so I want to do a few more of these. So anything else you guys want to see, let me know. Anything you're struggling with, let me know. And yeah, check out more. And I'm going to try to do sort of daily if I can. I'll do my best. But for now, people, I am the Broken Puppet, and I'll see you next time. Peace.